nothing better than another bad idea. Dudes, here we are. Here we are. The trip has officially started. Little Ugly Home Fry. Back again. No longer at the garbage cans, out in the world. What a beautiful thing. So I'm headed toward Damascus, which is where it starts. The Mid-Atlantic BDR starts. And I've already had to do some 4-lane secondary, like highway stuff, and just right into it, right into going 35 miles an hour up a hill on a 4-lane road. It's all right. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I'm just telling you what happened. Okay? Okay, commenters? And this is Mars Hill. So, God, where to even begin on this trip? I don't know what videos I've put out. I don't know. Let's see. I know I put out the Wizard video and the Gear Talk video. I think I talked a little bit about the Himalayan in that, but that's been a while. So, here's the update. It's August 24th, and I left Asheville this morning at about 7:30 or so, something. And let's see. So on July 29th was my appointment. The bike's been there since July 13th or 14th, but July 29th was my appointment. As I already have said, they rode it, saw the problem, and the guy thought it was the valves, which no one I talked to thought it was the valves or thinks it's the valves. I thought it was fuel pump, so did a lot of other people. A lot of people said relays and all that, but I've already changed out those, and so it can't be that. But anyway, on the 29th, they said, we rode it, we get it, we're going to check the relays. That's our next thing. And then for the next, seriously, 4 or 5 days when I called to ask for an update on how it rode, they kept saying, we're waiting for the bike to cool down, and then we're going to check the valves. And they said this like for days, just reading the last note on my file. Oh, that looks cool. So right away, just kind of terrible. And I mean, just weeks went by. I got a hold of Royal Enfield. One of their guys is in touch with the shop guys. He gave them a whole list of things to check out. I asked them to reprogram the ECU because I've heard that's a big issue. I told them I know it's the fuel pump, and they said it's not the fuel pump. And so whatever. Then on August 22nd, maybe two days ago, so almost, 3.5 weeks for sure, right? They leave me a message and said, we checked the valves, they're out of spec, so we're going to adjust those, and then we're going to go on a ride and see if that fixed it. I mean, this is 3.5 weeks later. They could have done that on the 29th. So I could have had it back, if this even fixes it, I could have had it back for this trip, which was the plan. So now for the last, whenever it was they told me that, it's been maybe 3 or 4 days. I keep texting to say, did they go on the ride? What's the deal? Did it fix it? And they either don't respond, or they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get to that this afternoon. And it's like every day it's this afternoon. So anyway, they're just the worst of all time. And I don't know, for a second there when they said they checked the valves and they were out of spec, I was like, great, fix it, I'm gonna come get it right now. This was yesterday, and I could take it. But now I've already had Little Ugly all set up, or kind of set up, and I'm not sure I would have trusted it anyway. So whatever, Little Ugly it is. I love this bike. We're gonna have tons of fun, But the whole Himalayan thing is just very annoying. I don't understand how a shop can operate like that. And on that front, I also submitted my lemon law paperwork, which basically to start, you just write the manufacturer a letter. And they're terrible too. Every email I get back is, we've received your message and we are on top of it and we're so sorry for the inconvenience. I've gotten like 8 emails that say that, so they've been not helpful either. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully the Attorney General will help me if it comes down to that. Because I'm annoyed at the whole thing and pissed, and I want vengeance. So that's that. And so I've had this trip planned for quite a while. I think I knew soon after the TAT that I was probably going to do this. Johnny Powell and Tat Steve had their epic Great Continental Divide ride. You should check out John's channel for that. He's got some good videos with some amazing scenery. And I'm sorry I wasn't on it. It sucks, but there you go. Couldn't do it. And yeah, so I just got my kids off to college. The youngest one went for the first time. And so it's kind of freaky at my house. And I gotta process that whole thing. It's weird, man. It's weird. I was telling Jen too last night, like, you know, we were talking about how we did, you know, we feel like we've done pretty good and we've gotten them into college and given them everything they needed and all that stuff. And I was thinking about, you know, we started saving for college like the second they were born, and just put money away every month. And I just remember, like, the person I was before we had those kids. If I had that kind of money, I would not be giving it to another human being. But it's like now, you'll do anything. You'll give anything away. You'll get them whatever they need that you can get them. I'm just saying, kids change your personality, usually for the better. And speaking of kids, I was talking about in the ride report how, you know, when you have an infant and you go through all that hell of sleep deprivation and all that stuff, and I remember just swearing to myself, making an oath that I would never, ever have another kid as long as I lived. But you know, then time goes by, you get to sleep a little more, they start to smile and have a personality, and you're like, nah, maybe I should have another kid. And then you do, and then you're like, oh, god damn it, I told myself not to do this. But you've already done it. And so riding Little Ugly on this trip is just like that. I'd forgotten all the bad things. I remember all the fun things. And so I'm back on her. It's such a mistake. I can't even tell you what a mistake it is, but that's what's happening. And she feels, I mean, I've got things packed pretty well, I think. But man, I'm also really thankful to have the readout of the tire pressure, because she just feels so freaky and weird. And like, you know, she wants to do this, you know, this thing. If I would let her, she would like start to do that and get out of control. Just everything feels soft and weird. and dangerous, to be honest. So I can't wait to get off these kind of roads and on the actual route. So I guess I'll check in with you then. So I got gas a little bit back, and I had a text from Motorcycles of Charlotte. They said it had been on the long ride and everything seems fine. And my message had been, so it was just the valves that you could have fixed on the 29th, like 3.5 weeks ago. And he didn't reply to that. He just said, the valves had something to do with it maybe, but it was the fuel pump. I'm like, oh really, the fuel pump? You mean the thing that when I walked in that day, I said, I think it's the fuel pump. And I had one standing by at the parts department because I thought it was the fuel pump. So, all I'm saying is weeks and weeks and weeks, almost a month of wasted time. They could have fixed that in a day. A day. So apparently it's good to go as I leave for the excuse me, the trip that it was supposed to go on. But then I texted him about the cold start stalling issues that it's always had, which is separate. That's a separate thing, and he has not gotten back to me about that. So what do I care? I'm not going to be home for a few weeks anyway, so I want them to do everything they can do. I also am going to try to get them to send the ECU to be reprogrammed. I don't know if they'll do that for me or not, but hopefully. And I'm probably about still another hour to the start of the Mid-Atlantic BDR, and I'm off those 4 lanes for a while, which is nice. I know all these roads. I've been on these. Well, you've been on them with me on the Himalayan. We went through Spruce Pine. We're sort of headed towards I don't know, Blowing Rock, Rossmore, Linville, and it's pretty out here. But just like on the Tat ride, I'm ready to get out of my out of the region that I know. There were definitely more fun ways to get to the start, but I just want to get there and get on the actual route. I have a feeling from Damascus are all roads that I know too. Some of them are probably roads I did on the first Voltar 500, whatever that was. But anyway, it's a beautiful day. It's like 60, 65. Sun is out, it's warm, feels great, and I'm kind of loving it. So glad to be off those 4-lane roads. And should be to the start in a bit. Look at me in back of a line of cars instead of in front of a line of cars. Yeah, hell yeah! Into Tennessee, and I think I'm about, let's see, I don't know, 20 minutes from the start, something like that. And Little Ugly is feeling, I don't know, she feels weird, man. It feels unstable and a little out of control, but I know I'll get used to it. But no problems so far. Ass hasn't dialed the phone, but I feel sure Ass is gonna. Maybe not today, but I've only been on the bike for less than 3 hours, and already, how hard is it to design a seat that's comfortable? It can't be that hard, Honda. Anyway, should be to the start soon. All right. So for me, this is the start of the Mid-Atlantic Backcountry Discovery Route. Just turned onto Dollarville Road, I think it's called. I think officially it starts a couple miles down the street in Damascus somewhere, but this is where it starts for me. I've already been to Damascus and I've already been on that road, so no need to go down there and turn around and come back here, is what I'm thinking. So it has officially begun. I think it took me, what, 3.5 hours to do, let me look, 3.5 to do 130 miles from Asheville to near Damascus. And I'm glad that's over with. Some pretty parts, but mostly just like full on slabbing it. It's chilly. I might have to put the puffy on. I wonder if I'm headed the right way on the MABDR. I should probably check. But I'm on it. I'm doing it. It's happening. And I'm excited. I talked about it in the ride report. You know, it's a bummer that I couldn't go with John and Steve, because I would travel perfectly with them. I mean, it'd be a lot of fun. But my kids were home for the summer, and so I wanted to spend as much time with them as possible, because now they've just gone to school. Just dropped them last week. One's at UNCW in Wilmington, and the other's at App State in Boone. Some mighty North Carolina state schools. We told them they could go anywhere they wanted, but that we weren't paying more than the state schools cost, because the state schools are great and the state schools are relatively inexpensive. So I think they're both, I know my oldest daughter is totally happy with App State and she's doing great, and the other one I think is gonna love Wilmington. She loves the beach, and I think she's gonna have a big time. And her classes started today. But you know, it's freaking emotional, man. It's like, oh, Jesus. Team Gianni has been a solid, close-knit, you know, living with each other every day, day in, day out for 18 to 20 years. And it's just a weird transition. I'm psyched for them. I'm bummed that Team Gianni is getting all screwed up, because my wife and those two kids, there's no one I'd rather hang out with. So anyway, that's what's going on. And also, to add to that, like the weird feelings around that, I've had 2 deaths. One, oh my God, it's because of the Himalayan. I'm not used to, I have to obsessively clear my signal switch. I don't know why, but it's the opposite of the Himalayan, so I keep hitting the horn instead. think she was just enjoying the sun, right? I thought there was going to be a wave, but no. So anyway, this guy, Rubba and the Cosmic Rays was his band, and Rubba, in the 90s in Colombia, where John and I knew each other, the music scene was incredible. It was just a very strange confluence of people and music, and it was an amazing place to be as a musician. And anyway, he's like obsessed with Kiss and just straight up rock and roll, and you know, he's about my age, and he died. I don't even know how, but it's just a freaky blow. Like, you know, he was such a character, and he helped make that scene what it was. He liked to say hog nuts. I don't know exactly why, but. And then another devastating one, we had I always knew him as War Child. That's what he went by when I met him in the 90s. And, you know, he was one of those dudes that you look at him and you're just petrified of him. You know, kind of a lean, mean dude, like with a long beard and the big, like, earring things that make these huge holes in your ears, and piercings and tattoos everywhere. And plus he went by War Child, so you're like, what is this dude all about? And anyway, I forget how I met him, but we sort of knew each other for a long time, and then he became my band's road manager. So we you know, we'd go out for 2 and 3 months at a time, playing shows around the country. And, you know, I spent just so much time with those people in the band truck, just talking and, you know, having fun. Had some wild times. So I forget how long he was our road manager, but I would say it was years. And, you know, he's one of those, yes, he definitely had the rough exterior, and you felt like you should be scared of him, and you should. You didn't want to mess with him, but, you know, inside he's just a fucking teddy bear, and he's just so nice. Anyway, like I said, we spent just, you know, so much time together, and War Child became a super, really good friend. And we kept in touch ever since. That, I think the band broke up in '98, and we've kept in touch. But man, he, well, I guess I didn't mention, he died too. And he was younger than me. He was like, I don't think he had even hit 50 yet. Just had a massive heart attack. So we're back to the point of these trips, you know? Do it while you can, because you just don't know. And I can't believe these two guys have died. It's just, I mean, I think about dying all the time. Like, I always have since I was a little kid. It's not something that, like, freaks me out or anything. It's just, you know, inevitable. Because it's inevitable. So, but still, when dudes your age that you knew well die, it's freaky, man. It's freaky. And while you know it's gonna happen, when it does, it doesn't make it any better, really. So I don't know. It's all got me in a weird contemplative mood, which may not be good for you guys, but I'm glad to be out here in the woods and have some time to just, like, clear my head. Terrorist gravel. It's back. It's back. Did I say complentative? Or did I say complentative? Oh my god, which one is it? Is either one of those a word? Complentative. Contemplative? Future Ange, help us out. Well, I crossed over 81. I guess I'm in Virginia, right? I must be. And it's been some like frontage roads and nothing very nice. But I think I'm headed into some niceness now. I got to get my ride right on, and I'm all over the place, man. It's so different driving this bike with all this luggage. I'm gonna say it's not as good as without the luggage, but I got to get used to it. So I just went across a little grassy valley. Now I'm climbing, and I don't know what forest this is about to be, but anyway, the weather is beautiful, and I'm so psyched to be out here. The twisties though, man, I am not used to Little Ugly with the luggage yet. She is such a blast to ride without luggage, just whip her around, but with it is a whole different deal, and I do not feel confident yet. And the tire sensors, oh my god, if you're a paranoid person, just get them. Having that to look at, because just for instance, like I went around a curve back there, a pretty sharp curve, and it just felt smushy, and I know it's just the weight that's, you know, moving things around and making it weird, but it felt like the front tire was flat, you know, and to just be able to glance down and know that it's not is pretty awesome. It's good for some anxiety reduction. And I also noticed that I set them at 26 front, 28 back, and they fluctuate all over the place. Like, yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but the front's 28 and the rear is 31 right now. So I guess it's just like temperature and whatever, but they fluctuate a good bit, and I feel like 4 pounds one way or the other doesn't really matter much, right? Is that true? I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm going with. So I explained this in the ride report, but you see those little booties? So for the tat, that was the last thing I really wanted to get done for the tat, and I never got around to it. But it's from like most of the movies that I love are like they're like psychotic love stories, like True Romance, Paris, Texas, Breaking the Waves, and my favorite movie of all time is Betty Blue, which if you haven't seen it, go check it out. There's a scene in the piano store that is devastating. So good. It's so good. So that it's about this couple. They live in France. They're you know, just making their way. Don't seem to care about much except for like drinking and having sex. And it turns out that the guy had written this novel or something, and the girl Betty finds it and wants him to try to get it published, and then we find out that she's a little off, like she's got some mental problems. She's just a little bit I don't know what, manic depressive something, just a bit crazy. And anyway, in the piano scene, he's playing this song on the piano. It's like a normal tune. He's just playing it. And then she sits down. I can't remember if it's at the same piano or at a different one. And while he's playing, she plays this note. And the note is wrong. It's wrong. It's just not, it's not in the right key. Her rhythm isn't quite right with the song. It is off. But it's perfect. The note is perfect. Even though it's wrong, it's just perfect. And obviously that's about her like playing this wrong note in his life, but she's perfect for him. Oh, it's killer. Oh my God, it's such a good scene. And the whole movie is awesome. I won't spoil it for you. But if you're gonna watch it with your kids, I was so excited to show my oldest daughter this movie because it's truly my favorite of all time. And I started it up, and they're having sex right there. And it's a French movie, so the sex is not like there's no screening. It's full on, they're having sex. So anyway, we got through that. She did like the movie, but anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, the baby shoes. Right. Okay, so another movie though that I love is Raising Arizona. Coen brothers, brilliant dudes, sick, and just a genius movie. Nicolas Cage at his best. Holly Hunter, is it Holly Hunter? Oh, she's awesome. And anyway, the motorcycle guy, I'm sure you've seen the movie. The motorcycle guy, his name is Leonard Smalls. And his attitude is the attitude that I want to have in life. He's basically just rolling through life, guns blazing, throwing grenades off his motorcycle. He just doesn't care about anything.
He was horrible.
You know, the idea is like, I think it's a good plan to try to just leave a massive swath of burning embers in your wake throughout your lifetime.
He could turn the day into night and laid to waste everything in his path. He was especially hard on the little things, the helpless and the gentle creatures. He left a scorched earth in his wake, befouling even the sweet desert breeze that whipped across his brow.
I haven't quite reached that goal. I mean, there's no swath of burning embers, but I try to scorch the earth just a little bit, as much as I can. So anyway, I've always loved that character because he's fucking hilarious.
I didn't know where he came from or why. I don't know if he was dream or vision.
Anyway, he wears a pair of black baby shoes like at his waist, and I've gone into the deep dive of what the meaning is online, and you're welcome to do the same. But anyway, he dies in like a fiery explosion, and all that's left is his little black baby boots. So that's what these are, commemorating Leonard Small, trying to get a little bit of that attitude in my life. Hey dog. You know what I mean? I want some guns a-blazing. I want to throw some grenades. So anyway, if you see a CT125 with some black baby booties, that's me. Said it before, neighborhoods at the end and at the beginning of these forest roads are always the most interesting places. Always. This is just some great forest road action. It's got some dirt, some ruts, some rocks. There's one section that is very, very rocky, and some terrace gravel, although the terrace gravel isn't too bad. I had to remember that in gravel you're supposed to just hope for the best. Just kind of let things loosey-goosey. And so I've been doing that, and so far so good. Skidding all over the place, but staying upright. And so my previous love of the rock straps is over. However much I recommended those, I take it back. I mean, they're great straps, don't get me wrong, but for a trip like this, when you're dealing with real bumps and, you know, stuff like that, the webbing is the way to go. That doesn't give, because as I said before, there's that one bad wreck I had in the Whoopties in Oregon or wherever that was, and I blame that totally on those rock straps because of the give. Because, you know, if you have the same sort of bump over and over again, you get this frequency going, and it'll put you off balance. Whereas the webbing I've got on now, that I think John used on the tap too, I don't think he had any bungees. I think his was all just webbing. But it makes the whole thing just part of the bike, which is so much better. So much better. So anyway, just officially, I withdraw my rock strap recommendation, and in its place, pure webbing. That's all. And I'll be happy if the rest of this route is just like this. It's not hard. It's beautiful. You get into some remote areas for a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. Is there crazy stuff coming? I'm not sure. A couple of dramatic surprises wouldn't be bad. I just don't want like a day of it, you know? But it's beautiful out here. I've seen a couple of deers. I need to be careful of that because they're out and about. Had my first mishap right there. Almost. I think it was the rock straps getting karma on me for talking shit about them. This is very steep. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, I got an inclinometer, whatever. Anyway, it's an app that shows you the incline, because you know how much trouble anyone has showing you steepness on YouTube. So I got to get that set up. And these switchbacks are no joke, and I'm trying to do my best on the ride right thing, at least until I turn the corner and can see if anything's coming. You know what I mean? A head-on collision on day one would really bum me out. Just stopping for a little water break here in the middle of nowhere. It's lovely And I am digging this ride so far. It's so nice. It's not hot. Oh man, the roads are great so far. And Little Ugly's doing good. Nothing's shaking around. Everything's staying where it should. Yeah, it's all good. I don't know if that bead seat is helping or not. Maybe it is. Ass hasn't called yet. Ass is a little bit annoyed, but not too bad. I don't know how long I've been on the road, maybe 5 hours, so it's not quite time for Ass to get pissed. And I also need to figure out where I'm gonna end up tonight. So I'm gonna do that, drink some water, and get back on the road. I kind of took a look at where I'm at, where I'm going, and there's a place called Bland. So I think I'm gonna stop there and get gas. And there is I did a lot of research on camping. Like I said, I've tried to stay away from the YouTube videos and all that stuff because I just want it to be a surprise. I don't want to know what's coming too much. But I went crazy because of the tat and my camping problems. I went a little nuts, sort of, following the route on Gaia, finding any campgrounds that were marked there and marking them down. And then, did some more work on Google Maps and just trying to find every single camp spot I could so that wherever I happen to be, hopefully there's something within reach. Because that was really the worst part of the tat, is not knowing where to go and just having to stress about that and stop, and just kind of sucked. So anyway, so my first option is Bland, and it's what, 3 o'clock right now. So honestly, by the time I get there, it'll probably be 4 maybe. If it's 4, I might just hang there for the night. If it's after 4, I definitely will. If I get there a lot sooner, there's another one that is maybe another, I don't know. It's so hard to tell on Gaia. Like, I count the squares and I think they were each 10 miles. So anyway, it might be another 40 or 50 miles to the next campground, and of course I don't know if it's full or not. But anyway, if I don't stay for the night in Bland, God, I can't talk, then I'll call this other campground and see if there's a spot. So I've got 2 options, and that's good, right? And I have been scoping on the way, like, would I camp there right there? And there have been a couple of spots where I would have. We'll see if I can overcome that fear. Because somebody on the ride report commented at this guy, he's taken oh God, I forget what it was, a Trident, some pretty small bike, Trident something, cool bike. But anyway, he's this older guy. I think he's from Australia, maybe. I'm not sure. I'll put a link to his ride report in the description. Hey, bird. But I've been following his ride report, and he is awesome. He will camp anywhere. He camps at like truck stops, behind dumpsters, city parks, just like right there in the middle of the grass. There was one where there were 2 streets, one going this way. I think it was like a secondary highway, and then there was a local road on the other side. What did I just hear? And Oh, look how beautiful this is. Where am I? Cool. Anyway, in between the two roads was a culvert, like just a ditch for water. And he totally just set up his tent right in the middle of it. Just does not give a flying F. Oh, I need that in my life. I need that. But I'm so conditioned, or maybe I've done it to myself, about trespassing, and I don't want to deal with the cops. I don't want to be woken up because it'll scare the shit out of me in the middle of the night. Oh, look at this. Come on. Well done, Virginia. Well done. But you know, it just freaks me out a little bit. But I really want to get over it. Holy Jesus. I feel like if I would go on a trip with someone who does that I would be fine. I love how I'm checking if I'm speeding on a freaking Honda trail. Not likely. I do still want to be the first one ever to be pulled over on a CT125. If anyone knows of anyone who has been, let me know, because they deserve full props. Anyway, the camping thing. I don't know why I get so worried about stealth camping, but with my luck, I'll pick the wrong spot and some uncool, mean, crazy person will put a gun up my left nostril and I will instantly poo my pants, and that won't be a good scene. And it won't do you any good either. It won't be entertaining because I'll be too scared to turn on the GoPro. Anyway, it's a lovely day. I don't know what to tell you. Wish you were here, dudes. It's pretty awesome. There's an amazing view out there that we can't see. Oh, I wish there'd be a clearing. We are just right on the spine of a mountain. Get anything this way? Not really. Wow, look at these trees. What's going on? Some kind of blight happening. Yep, I'll take that. Lovely. Just lovely. Looks like I'm gonna hit some gas just right. I got one. Oh, I got no bar. Oh no, wait. Yeah, I got 1 bar. Now I forget what we decided. 1 bar is 20 miles. Is that right? Anyway, I'll make it to the gas station, no problem. On this stuff, on the Himalayan, I wouldn't be going any faster than this. It's just the pavement that's the problem. It's one thing power lines are good for. Right. This is right. I think Interstate 77 is down there. You know what? I think my gas was back there. And I need to get it. Brushy Mountain Outpost. No gasoline. No gasoline. Where's gasoline, my friends? Alright, so no gas I could find very close to there. And Bland is like another 30 miles at least. So I'm hoping that's not the first place there's gas. Because that could be weird and bad. I do have some spare, but it won't get me far. Yeah, I'm like way up in the mountains. So anyway, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna make it to Bland with no problem. My bar is not blinking, so that means I could have 20 miles. And then I have the little bit in the fuel tank. So I'm fine, right? No problem. And maybe I'll pass gas on the way. Oh, I'll definitely pass gas on the way. There's one right there. Did you hear it? All right, I'm not going to stress about the gas situation. It'll be fine. Just enjoying these beautiful country roads. That was a nice piece of dirt. Didn't see any other motorcyclists, no other vehicles. I think I've only seen one other vehicle on the dirt today, maybe 2. And that's it. My whole thing this trip too is to try, like my goal is to get up and be on the road by 7. So that I have like 10 hours of riding. God, even earlier than that would be good. So that I can be at camp by 5 at the latest. Because another thing about the TAT that was kind of a pain in the ass, I really enjoyed doing the ride report. I mean, I like to do it. I want to do it. But it can become a pain in the ass when you're like, you feel rushed and you get to camp and you feel like you have all this crap to do. I mean, I don't want that. I want to be able to like kick back a little bit. I mean, on the other hand, it's nice to have things to do because, you know, I can read or whatever, but it's nice to have things to keep you occupied before you go to bed. And I want to go to bed early so I can get up early. So that's what I'm trying for on this trip. We'll see how that goes. I'm just so bad at guessing when I'm going to be where. Like, it's 4 now. I thought I'd already be in Bland, and I'm not really even close. So there you go. See if this thing will tell me where fuel is. Trent's Grocery, that's where I'm going. And that's the closest place. It's only 6 miles, so I'm good. Oh yeah, is this the Shenandoah Valley? Is that where I am? It's beautiful. We drive 81 a lot to go north, like to the northeast, and that whole valley is just gorgeous. Might be me for the night. I think they have camping for cheap as balls. Alright dudes, I'm at Trent's Grocery in Bland, Virginia, and this is going to be my camp spot back here behind the gas station with these fine folks. I don't think anybody's in any of these, but weird place. I like it. $6 to pitch a tent. They've got some beers in there and food, and then I'm gonna go get gas, get some vittles, and I'm golden. Hey, please like this video if you liked this video, and if you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. Also, if you're interested, there are links to gear lists and goofy t-shirts in the description. Thanks a ton for watching.